Sports betting brother, hey, bring it up, and thanks for stopping by. My name is Boyd. I'm a sports betting market analyst with OddsJam.com. We teach you how to bet like a pro. Today's topic is, what mistakes do I need to avoid? How can I avoid certain types of things to be profitable, to make money in sports betting? And I've been doing this 30 years, and I've got the top-down markets-driven approach, so it's more of an approach of pricing and things like that I can help you with, and we're going to go through and talk about. It's not necessarily the stats and the model originator kind of a position that other people might take, which I don't, but I know there's a value to that. So we're going to talk about markets and how you can get a hold of the right information and use this to profit. Here we go. All right, guys, before we get into the mistakes you can avoid and things you can do to profit right away, I want to first talk to you about a quick phone call. If you want to do a Google Meet or a Zoom call, just to talk to you individually, free consultation to talk to you about your situation, where you're located, and what sports books you have available, and just try to help you get off the ground running with a game plan to profit, please let me know in the comments down below, and we'll get in touch. You can leave my email there as well, at boyd@oddsjam.com. You can send me a message and we'll get you going. The other thing too is once you get going, I want to offer you 20% off the first 2 months. So 20% off the first 2 months as a new user at OddsJam. Use promo code BOYD20, BOYD20. And finally, I do have a course. I have an online course that I've created. It's about a 2.5 hour set of videos, about 25, 26 videos. It's broken up to compartmentalize and help you ramp up your education, your betting education, and expedite the data-driven betting course. So if you want that as well, it's about a $500 value. I'm offering it to all new signups, to all new OddsJam signups, to have that to really help themselves out as a bonus. So please enjoy that, and let's get going. All right, so the first things first is there's sort of two approaches, sort of two angles people can kind of come from, and I believe there's definitely a blend of both. But the first one is a line originator, a person that has their own model, things like that, where people are depending on stats and information, and they create their own line, they create their own information and potential scores and things like that. So then when they go to the market and they see that there's a variance there or a delta there, they pick on that and they try to use that to their advantage. And that's one way of doing it. That's certainly a lot of pressure to try to outsmart the sports books and all the resources that they have to come up with their odds and things like that. But people do, they use that approach. That's the bottom up approach. Not exactly what I do. I've tried it. It's very difficult, and that's one approach, but that's something you can consider. So that bottom-up approach, the line originator, the person that's making their own models, the person that's coming up with their own data to compete with the sports books and try to identify some value, is an approach that I believe you have to have a sprinkle of, a little bit of, to understand kind of what's going on in the markets. But I do the complete opposite. I'm using a top-down approach. Using the data-driven information of the markets and helping the markets work with me versus try to go against them. It's much easier. You'll save millions of hours. And I think that's the approach that anyone should go, especially if they're just getting started or definitely struggling, because that's where all the gold is. That's where all the key information is of how to identify positive EV bets, profitable bets consistently over and over. And let's talk about that. So the first thing in the markets-driven approach is basically throw everything out you think you know, because really the markets are going to indicate and drive to you where the wise bets are, where's the positive expected value bets, and all that data and all that information is provided by the markets. And the OddsJam tools show you that. They show you the positive expected value bets, opportunities you can have with the various sports books. So just understand that using all that information for you can happen very, very quickly. You can use the tools, the data, to identify the bet size, the bet location, the odds that it should be at, and put yourself in a position to mathematically take advantage of all that information. So in using these tools, I compare that using the market making books and the data and the information is sort of following the smart kids, right? Let's say you have 50 kids in a class and you've got 3 or 4 that are just straight A, got it dialed in, know what they're doing. You're essentially following them. So would you rather go with them and take your results? Of course, they're not going to get everything 100% correct, but they're going to get a lot right. And you would not want to follow the kids at the other end of that scenario, the bottom 5 or 6, where they can't get anything right. So that's kind of what we do is with the markets, is you're following the market makers. You're obviously seeing the pricing adjustments and the outlying prices that are available. And that's really how you find the value, the mathematical value, because the markets are very, very fluid. The prices change, the odds change, the lines change. And that's critical because you have to move very, very quickly to grab those prices and understand when the best opportunity is, whether you're buying early or buying late, etc. So that's a very, very critical piece. The next thing I'd try to help you out with is to understand the math of the lines, the odds, the information, and the numbers that are really, really critical and important. And a lot of this is just, buying low, selling high. Why do people take on wagers where they're wagering minus 120, minus 125 when they get the same exact bet, the same exact line at minus 110? That's like me saying, hey, I'd rather you pay you $125 than 110 for the same product. And then contrarily, why are you taking on an underdog at plus 130 than you can get plus 140, plus 150 pricing? So at the end of the day, it's how you buy and what you buy, and understanding the math of how that adds up massively. Oh, the numbers are crazy when you understand that, every little bit helps. And especially over the course of a season and a course of a year, it's thousands and thousands of dollars difference just by understanding the fact that the math and buying low, selling high, or not buying at all and avoiding a bad price is really the way to go. All right, and finally, I would say, not having a plan, not having the discipline. Those two things together, with sports bettors, they go in week to week, day to day, not having a clear plan and a clear view of how they're hunting and how they're shopping for these values in the sports betting market, and they get off the rails into the weeds. It happens quickly, and they have to re-up because they're out of money. They didn't manage the bankroll well. So all that together is sort of a bad planning, bad discipline, not being prepared, which is, again, why I encourage a one-on-one call to talk to you about using the OddsJam tools, getting a plan, getting organized, and making this really a money-making endeavor. So that's the last part of that. All right, guys, hope you found these tips very, very helpful. You can incorporate them right away and be very profitable ASAP. So hopefully you found some value in this. And again, give us a like, give us a share, let us know you're there, and let's go make some mathematical money.